Hello, my lovely Marshall blenders. How are you? How are you? So here I am with Emily. We removed and are removing the foils from her hair. It had lifted to where I wanted it to be lifted, which is between 9, 10. You know, it lifted pretty well, pretty nice. And so now we're gonna go in and touch up the roots. And so you'll see that I am, this is fast forwarded, right? I fast forwarded it 8 times, but I was moving pretty quickly. The heat from the scalp will ensure that the roots will catch up and sometimes surpass the mid shaft to ends, and that is why it's important to start off mid shaft to ends and give them the time. In this case, I gave the hair a 30-minute head start, and let me tell you, of course, the roots caught up pretty quickly. I wish there was a way to be able to mimic the heat that the scalp produces, but there is no way to mimic it. There is no way. No heated hooded dryer. Maybe a warm towel over a processing cap can kind of imitate it. That's probably the closest because it's a humid heat that comes out from the scalp. It's not a dry heat, it's a humid, moisturized heat. And I believe that that's the reason why it's able to lift the roots to this beautiful, light level. Anyways, I digress. And so if you see here, I'm cross-checking, making sure that every single part is touched by the lightener because, and this is something I was explaining to her, lightener is not like dye, like hair color. Hair color is gonna, move and be able to sleek into different spaces even if you personally did not touch it. Lightener is different. You see that? Lightener is different. If you did not put lightener on that spot does not have lightener and it will not then lighten. So when you are doing a global lightening, touching up the roots, you have to be super duper uber careful and conscious of it, because if it's not touched, it will not lift. And if it does not lift, you are going to have a natural color spot there, or at best it'll be orange. You know what I'm saying? So yes, cross sectioning is important. Moving, making sure that you take thin sections in your cross sectioning is absolutely important, because that is going to ensure that you have a beautiful canvas, and so here you see me still. I am very very OCD, very anal about this, and I will go through cross section maybe 2, 3, 4 times, simply because I don't trust human error. I just do not trust human error. What do you guys think about that picture there? I said it looks like Rihanna, right? I love it. Now look, this was the lift. It's a beautiful lift for the colors we were going to be playing with. Each one was going to be able to be showcased. Here I'm using my Identity's magenta, and then I'm going to create another, I'm going to weave another section, and in that section you will see that I'm going to put, so here you see that I am using, this is actually Ion Color Brilliance's Jade. Is it Jade? That's Jade. That's Iron Color Brilliance's Jade, and it's a beautiful jade color. I really love the way that it applies and how it washes out. Now here I am using Iron Color Brilliance's Rose. That rose is such a bubble gummy rose that I just adore how it washes out, because when it washes out on a hair that is let's say a 8.5, 9 or above, it gives it this like just a beautiful rosy kind of platinum. It gives it a beautiful rosy kind of platinum that I absolutely appreciate. Now I want to let you guys know, so her hair, we pre-treated it with K18, and I was very, very careful with the hair. Now this is, if I'm not confused, this is Ion Color Brilliance's Rose Quartz mixed with my Identity's Diamond, Rose Diamond, Rose Diamond, I think it's called. It's a blend that I did there, and I love how it looks. But yes, pre-treating the hair with K18 honestly is the best way of preparing the hair. You guys know I love Olaplex as well, so Olaplex I would have also used, but in I was gonna be using the Matrix pre-bonded lightener, so I didn't have to worry too much there. Ooh, yes, I wanted to create this money piece that was a blend. So in the front, I used my Identity's Emerald, and then I made a little highlight, some rosy highlights to support it in the back. So I used rose, and then here you see me using the blend of rose diamond and rose quartz from my Identity and Ion Color Brilliances respectively. And then for the side, I used rose, just rose, straight up rose, because I wanted that to pop. And you'll notice that I'm using diagonal sections, moving back up to where I'm going to be going, simply because diagonal sections create the most natural blend with the hair, and they show when you do a ponytail. You know, you're actually able to see it and appreciate it. I am doing thin slices. I am separating. As you can see, I separate some of the blonde section, and then I put in that slice. I decided I wasn't going to weave. I wanted to be slicing. And why slicing? Because slices show up better. First off, right? They show up better. And then the other reason why I wanted to use a slice was because her hair is wavy and has some curl to it, and she does like to rock it in its natural state. So in those cases, slices will show up more than a weave would. A weave would, if you know, or if you don't know, in curly hair, when you do thin weaves or weaves, what it creates is makes the color, the base color, look lighter. So it doesn't really show up as a highlight. It just makes the color look a little lighter. Whereas if you do a more chunky or a more a slice, then it actually is able to pop. So what I'm doing here is I decided to do zigzag highlights. I did not backcomb. I just created this zigzag and would take the top part of the zigzag and color that. You see, so I'm doing a zigzag there, and then I would, put the foil and just color that section. And the reason for that is because the blend that a zigzag creates is absolutely beautiful. So you're able to kind of go crazy with the color if you want, and not necessarily have to worry about a blend, because it's going to give you that blend. And so yeah, there I am. I made sure to use the same colors on the opposite side. There's that there was a green that I used that was mixed with some yellow, and it just became really beautiful. This, what you see right there, was a mixture of emerald with rose quartz, and it just created this beautiful deep blue, like a beautiful deep blue. I really loved it, which was unexpected, but hey, I went with it, and I says, you know what, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And so here we go. The color absolutely came out beautiful. So yes, the first thing I did do was the demi-permanent, the semi-permanent, or what is also called direct dye, right? I applied that. Oh, I love that green. It's gorgeous. And then after I did that, I went in with my Identity's liquid demi-permanent in 9 Violet Gold, NVG. And I just love that VG. You see, as soon as you apply it, you see the gold. But that's why it's so important to let the demi-permanents, the glosses, process the full time. Because if you don't, you're going to be left with what you don't want, right? So as you let it process the full 25 minutes, then you see the violet kick in, and it just creates this beautiful, beautiful tone of blonde. And, you know, in her hair, it actually, you know, made it look very platinum. Just a beautiful, beautiful color. So for platinum, surprisingly, and this is something I also learned observing Zach Mesquit, is yeah, you do want to add some gold to your blondes if you want a beautiful, natural looking platinum. So here on the ends, I decided to add a little bit of the magenta over the demi-permanent because I knew that that would then create more of a light pink. It wouldn't come out as strong as magenta on its own would because the demi-permanent and the liquid barrier, you know? So I did that, and then that was it. And watch the next video. Goodbye, my lovely Marshall blender.